Hello, once again. This is your friend and your YouTuber and your guide in many respects, brother teacher. I wanted to talk to you all today concerning weight loss. Uh, so many years, especially since I was growing up, and those that are my age and even beyond can relate to this. So many gimmicks, so many fads, so many crash diets and diet pills and tinctures and you name it has surfaced and even resurfaced, just packaged a little bit differently as it relates to weight loss. And I want to share my understanding with you today as it relates to weight loss. Now, let me first say this. Uh, if you're taking medication on your doctor's advice, and if you are under doctor's care and you have some extenuating circumstances or situations and you have chronic conditions as I'm speaking to you on this video, please consult with your physician before you start out on any new regimen as it relates to exercise and or diet. Okay? Now, with that said, I'm not offering you any guarantee that what I'm about to tell you is going to work for every person that's watching this video. And the reason is simply this, and it's so elementary. There will be some individuals that will follow the advice and suggestions that I give and people like me give, and they will follow it to the very end, and they will receive the benefits of following that information. Notwithstanding, there are other individuals that will get discouraged after a few days, a week, or a month, and they will discontinue following the information or the guidance that's been given to them, and then they will call you ill-informed, a quack, unprofessional, you don't know what you're talking about, or they'll say what you told them did not work. And it's not that the information was not good, that the information was not valuable, not that the information was not the truth. It's that they did not have the patience to withstand the period of time as it relates to the program. Now, I'm not really talking about a program per se. I just mentioned that for lack of a better word, but I'm just basically saying that you did not incorporate something as a lifestyle. If you're going to change something about yourself that's supposed to be positive, it has to become a lifestyle. It cannot be a fad. It cannot be something that you do just for a couple of weeks or a couple of months and then you're looking for these miraculous results. So let me say this. If you're struggling with weight loss, and you have been struggling with weight loss for many years, chances are you're toxic, and chances are you have had that problem all or most of your lives. It's true. Now, if you have a problem losing weight, I want to get rid of a myth that you can spot reduce. A lot of women I've heard and has been told to me or even asked me, how do I lose my stomach? How do I lose, this fat on my side? How do I lose the fat in my legs? There is no such thing as spot reducing. Your body is a whole. It is complete from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. When you gain weight all over your body. Now, some places that you can see with your naked eye, it will be more visible than others because it's a matter of what you see and what you perceive sometimes in your own mind. You might say, well, I have a lot of weight in my stomach, but my face is thin. You really don't know that. But understand this again. Every part of your body will gain weight when you gain weight, not one part of your body only. That's the same as saying that blood only circulates in certain parts of your body, and that's not true. Blood circulates throughout your entire body. So does weight gain. Weight is all over, it's gained all over. And when you begin to enact those things that help you to burn that fat off of your body, you begin to lose weight all over as well. Okay, now there's something that a lot of people never think about, but it's the truth anyway. And that is this: there's only two reasons that we are overweight. Number one is our diet. And number two is the lack of exercise. Okay? Now, let me tackle the exercise part first. When we were children, most of us anyway, were always active. We were always in a gym program in our elementary school, our high school, junior high school, and what have you. We were always active, always moving around, and then our metabolism was faster when we were much younger. As we begin to age, we become, especially in America, less active than we were as children. And we assume or take upon a sedentary lifestyle where we sit around the house a lot. I'm not talking about you going to your job and you doing flights of steps and it requires that you lift packages and go from point A in the warehouse to point B in the warehouse. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your overall lifestyle. When you sit around your house a lot, when you're sitting in an automobile driving from place to place most of the time, as opposed to walking, as opposed to brisk walks, as opposed to jogging or running or jumping rope, things like that, that you don't do any longer, you are going to gain weight. And what helps you gain weight is an improper diet. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in America. We live in the junk food capital of the world, America. There's nothing healthy about America when it comes to food. Now, that doesn't mean that there are no gyms in America. It doesn't mean that there are not yoga shops. It doesn't mean that there are not nutritionists and people who are part of the holistic community and so forth, and that you can't join a taekwondo school or something like it. It doesn't mean that those things don't exist in America. I am talking about the mentality of Americans is to eat, and to eat virtually anything, and to not take into consideration what they're putting in their bodies. And for the most part, we are putting empty calories and a lot of sugar that's processed in our bodies. And when you add that to the fact that we're not exercising, we begin to explode and expand, if you will. And we get heavier and heavier, and we become more and more frustrated because we don't have the guy figures anymore that we did when we were in school, or the female figures that you had when you were in high school and prom and all of this kind of stuff when you were coming up. Do you expect to have that if your life has actually changed? I hope not. So what are you saying, brother teacher? I'm saying this again. The reason we are overweight, it is because of improper diet and lack of exercise. Those are the main two reasons. Nothing else. Now, there are some people who take medications that add weight onto their bodies, if you will, or contribute to them gaining weight. I understand that. That's an exception. But for the most part, I'm speaking to the average person who does not take medication like that. You are overweight because of your diet and lack of exercise. So if this is the reason why you're overweight, then the answer is obvious. First of all, you must start exercising. Most people don't want to get up and move. Most people want to give an excuse why they can't do it and even won't do it. Most people, I don't have the time to exercise. But you have time to eat. What does that tell you? Most people, I'm juggling, my children. I have to get my children ready for school and prepare for this and so on and so forth. I have this appointment. All of these excuses that we manufacture as opposed to just doing it. You know how they say in the Nike commercial, just do it? It's really that simple. If it's not simple to you, then it's psychological. You're making yourself believe that you cannot do it. Now let me touch on the food part. This is a big monkey right here on your back, the food part. Most of the foods that we purchase, ladies and gentlemen, are not real. Most of the foods that we purchase in our grocery stores, as much as we would like to think that they're good for us, they're not real. In fact, the only friend that you really have in terms of food in the grocery store is the produce section of the store. Everything else in the rest of the store, majority of food in the rest of the store, is processed. It's full of preservatives, full of antibiotics in your meats, growth hormones in your meats, saturated with sugar, saturated with genetically modified organisms, GMOs, if you will, saturated with high fructose corn syrup, saturated with salt or sodium, and the list goes on. All of this is for the purpose of keeping the so-called food on the shelves longer so that customers will have it available to them when they come into the store. This is done deliberately by the food industry. If food spoils in a couple days, they can't sell anything to you, ladies and gentlemen. So they have to preserve the food in their own mind or their own way of thinking anyway. They have to preserve it so that it stays on the shelves long enough so that their mass market can purchase it. And the longer it stays on the shelves with these additives or these preservatives in it, the more sales they make, the food industry, that is. But when you go over to the produce section of your store, which is where the real food is because that was grown on a farm, you're dealing with two different things. Number one, you're dealing with regular fruit and vegetables that has been sprayed with Roundup, which is a chemical that is carcinogenic to human beings. It causes cancer, in other words. Pesticides and herbicides and other chemicals sprayed on your vegetables and your fruits so that when they make it to the market, they will last longer in the market. But the people who are spraying these foods that we're supposed to consume, they don't have warnings in the store telling you that they were sprayed with pesticide and herbicides to keep the insects from destroying the crops. They don't tell you that, ladies and gentlemen. So it's left up to us to be educated, to study something for a change. So that's why there are some consumers on some level begin to question the food industry about the spraying of chemicals on the produce. So they created what is called an organic section of produce, which does not have these harmful chemicals on it, but they cost a little bit more than your other produce. Understand this, they're all organic. All of the produce that you buy, your fruits and vegetables, are organic. Some of them traditionally are sprayed with chemicals, herbicides, Roundup, and pesticides They're still organic in that they grew from the earth. They're just sprayed with chemicals. Those are the ones that you want to stay away from. Now, the other section, which is called or titled or labeled organic, has not been sprayed or has not had any chemicals used on them whatsoever. But you're paying a higher premium for those fruits and vegetables. Now, my question to you, and it's hypothetical, is why don't they just stop using the chemicals altogether? Really, they would lose money. If they stop using the chemicals altogether on the produce, someone's going to be upset because their pockets are not going to be as heavy as they were once upon a time, because they can't sell their product to the stores, because the stores would say, hey, you know what, these things cause cancer or other maladies in human beings, and so we're going to stop buying these. Why can't they just make it all organic? Number one, if there's a number two, I don't know, but number one, some people don't care if they've been sprayed or not. Some people don't want to believe that, the farmers, those major companies would spray insecticide and pesticides, if you will, or herbicide on the fruits and vegetables. They don't want to believe that actually happens. So they really don't care. They don't even want to hear the argument. That's just their mindset. But there are some people who do care about their general health and that of their families, that will vie for the non-herbicide and pesticide and insecticides being placed on their food, and they're going to go with the organic that doesn't have that on it at all. So they're going to go for that every single time, no matter how much more they have to pay. And it's just that simple. But understand this, and I say it again, if you want to lose weight, you need to start eating food that is organic. Anything that is made by man that they call food is not food. It's just called food. Because the word food contains within it something called nutrition. Nutrition is what your body needs to live. Amino acids, water, fat. It has vitamins and minerals, electrolytes. That's real food, ladies and gentlemen. Real food does not have empty calories like potato chips, chocolate chip cookies, ice cream, candy bars, Pop-Tarts, and the list goes on. That's not food, ladies and gentlemen. Those are what people choose to call snacks, but a snack should be a healthy snack along the same lines of holistic means. Not something that contains all of the things that I mentioned already. And then there's a boatload of things that's in there that shouldn't be in there as well. When you buy, for example, a TV dinner, traditionally what we call them, or one of those microwavable dinners, and the microwave is another subject all by itself. But when you buy microwavable dinners, those pot pies and things like that, you look at the ingredients, there's so many things in the ingredients that you can't even pronounce. And they're all made in the laboratory. They're all chemicals that are harmful to your body. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to die today if you eat it. But if you have had a habit over the years of consuming these types of products, it's wreaking havoc in your body on a consistent basis. And all of the conditions that you have been experiencing throughout your life, leaky bowel syndrome or gut, if you will, and other intestinal issues, gas, indigestion, heartburn, heart problems, arteries being clogged up. All of this stuff is a result of what man has manufactured and put into the foods that are supposed to be healthy for us. So getting back to my original statement about how to lose weight and what causes weight to even accumulate on your body in epic proportions, I said the lack of exercise and the lack of eating proper. So I want to leave you with the answer again, and I'm going to say it again. Do your due diligence and get out and start studying. If you have any questions about anything specific that you would like to address with me, please leave it in the comment section below. But understand this fundamentally. Drink plenty of water every day. Hopefully not tap water, because there are chemicals in our tap water that should not be there. And you want to invest eventually into a filter for your shower and for your drinking water in your house. There are other systems that you can purchase as well somewhere down the line, but you want to have clean drinking water. If you can't afford a filter for your drinking tap right now, boil your water. Boil it. That will kill a lot of the pathogens that's still in your water and some of the other chemicals that are in that water as well. And it's better to have it that way than to be drinking it directly out of the faucet. Okay, that's one. Stay away from high fructose corn syrup and high saturated sugar drinks, confectionery sugar, granulated sugar, the white stuff. Stay away from that stuff. That stuff is killing us. Okay? Now, unfortunately, most of what we consume in our foods, not just in your pastries and just in your sugary snacks, but also in your regular foods that are packaged, you will find sugar. You will find it in large quantities and doses. You will find also high doses of sodium or salt as well. Do your due diligence, as I asked you earlier. That's another thing. And start eating more fresh vegetables, more fresh fruits, less canned foods. Okay? Limit the amount of beef that you consume. Limit the amount of meat that you consume, period. A lot of the fish that we're purchasing has mercury still in it. A lot of the meat that we purchase still has hormones injected into the beef, into the chicken. Into the chicken and also into the beef, hormones, growth hormones, and there's another item, and I say this all the time, I'm just losing it. I think the phone threw me off, and I apologize for that. But antibiotics, that's the other thing that they put in our meats, and that's not good for human consumption, but people take it in anyway, and it's all because they like the taste of meat, period. Now, just a quick footnote, when man was first created on this planet, and for those who are Christian and those who are not Christian, go back to the book of Genesis. Man didn't eat meat. Man has square teeth. Only wild animals that are truly by nature carnivorous have all sharp pointed teeth. Human beings don't have those teeth for ripping meat apart off of another animal. It's just a choice for the most part. Now, if you're going to eat meat, limit the amount of meat that you eat. And you definitely want to limit the amount of dairy, if not at all, eliminate it completely from your diet. We are the only living creature on this earth that still drinks milk. Human beings. Every other animal that was drinking milk as a baby was weaned off of its mother, and that animal started eating the normal food. Human beings, when we're supposed to be weaned off of our mother's milk from her breast, We're supposed to be graduating to the next level of food. But we are not only still drinking milk, but we're drinking the milk of another animal that was never intended for us. So we are all, in fact, lactose intolerant. Some are irritated a little bit more than others, but we're all lactose intolerant. Now, what is lactose? Lactose is a sugar that is found in milk. Okay, in cow's milk specifically. Lactose is milk that's in cow's milk that we drink, yogurt, ice cream, milkshakes, whatever. That's lactose. Now, when we were born as children and we were drinking our mother's milk, we had something inside of our DNA called lactate. It is an enzyme that is used to break down lactose, to break it down. As we begin to age and get out of that childhood stage, our lactate actually decreases, where it's not adequate enough any longer to break down the lactose in the milk. That's why we're all lactose intolerant, because we don't have enough lactate anymore to break it down. If you don't believe this, go to your grocery store and you will see a new product, relatively new, called lactate. And it says that there's no lactose in the milk. So this lactate is supposed to be something chemically done in the laboratory that's supposed to kill the lactose. So you don't have the problem that you would normally have when you're drinking milk as an adult, I should say, right now, of the milk being broken down and being able to be digested by your body. Milk cannot digest in your body now as an adult. And so when milk cannot digest in your body, it causes inflammation. That's another video. So I'm going to stop with that right now. And I'm just going to say, before I leave again, what should you be doing if you want to lose weight? Drink plenty of water, get plenty of rest. Make sure that you eat as much fruit and vegetables, and that should occupy most of your diet every single day. Fruits and vegetables. It shouldn't be donuts, muffins, pastries, brownies, cookies, ice cream, potato chip skins, pork rinds, if you will, and all of this other junk food, pretzel sticks with a lot of salt on them. All of this stuff, bologna sandwiches, hot dogs, French fries, hamburgers, all of that stuff is considered junk food. And it's no good for you. I don't care how good it tastes. It's no good for you. And that's why America is obese like it is. So I've been on here almost 30 minutes now on this particular topic. But I hope that it was of some value to you. I enjoy sharing information with you. And by all means, if there's something that I can give you, some nuggets of gold, if you will, that will help you be a better person and a better you and a healthier you, please leave those comments in the comment section below, and I will be sure to get back with you with an answer. And if I don't have the answer, I know where to get the answer. Okay. Now, if you like this video and you think this video is of value to you, please press that like button. I'm just starting to do this over the past couple months. I've never asked for people to like my videos before, but now I am. And the other thing, share this video with those people that you love. Okay, this is Brother Teacher. And as I always say, Yahweh love you and I love you. And I'll see you in the next video. So long.